this video I'm going to explain about the unit 2 of control systems, that is related to the time response analysis in control systems, or we can call the same it as time domain analysis. So in order to check the response of a system and to analyze that particular thing, first we need to have some inputs so that we can examine the outputs. So talking about that particular inputs, we call those inputs as test signals. Before going into the test signals analysis, let me give a brief idea about the chapter introduction. So that is in terms of definitions like time response time response analysis. Time response analysis is a study of output with respect to time. So this is the time domain analysis definition. So whatever the things which I am going to write in this particular video, or which I am going to tell 2 to 3 times, that means that you need to note down, or those are the important points. So whatever the things I am explaining in this video are only in point of semester examinations, but not any competitive exams. Of course, in competitive exams also you can use the tricks and concept that I am going to explain, but the concept which I am discussing won't be that deeper as compared to the competitive exam. So for semester point of view, the explanation whatever that is required, I am covering that. So from this we can study, from time response analysis, we can study the three main characteristics. Those three characteristics are stability, accuracy of the system, and errors present in a system. So by doing time response analysis, we can get idea of these three particular things. Actually, there are two types of responses that are available at the output when you give certain an input. So those two inputs are, first one we call it as a transient response. Of course, you know what is a transient is nothing but a short moment of time immediately that happens after the closure of switch. That's the definition in point of network theory. Now let us see the transient response in the control systems point of view. And the other thing is that t is equals to infinite, we call that it as steady state response. So in time response analysis, we have two responses, that is transient state, which will be at the very beginning of the system, and steady state at t is equals to infinite, we usually call it like. So the next thing is the time taken by system to get its damping level. We will discuss what is this damping and everything in detail. For the time being, you just try to understand the definition of the thing which I am going to write over here. Equal to 2% of final value is called transient time. So whatever the transient response we are discussing, its definition is the time taken by the system to get its damping level below or equal to 2% of its final value. So that is called transient time. And coming into the steady state, whatever the time will be there, the time after transient response or transient time is called steady state response. So the time after transient state to the final infinity, at a steady state, that particular time is called the time taken by the system to reach the steady state value. So here the things you have to note or to observe is that first one is variation, whatever the changes that you will be seeing, or the variations you can call it as. So those changes in the output are faster. Those changes will be faster initially, at the starting of the stage only, starting stages of the a system the changes whatever we are going to observe, those will be very high, or you can call it as faster in case of transient response. So coming into the point B, variations or the changes that you can be observe, variations of output are slower in steady state. By the name itself you can decode that it is steady. So the number of variations or the amount of variations observed in the output are very less. So we are talked about transient response and steady response. So let us see how we are going to get this transient response and steady state response. So in order to get a, or in order to study one particular thing, you need to give some input to a system, then only you can observe what is going to happen in that particular system. So let us study about some of the inputs that are available. So those inputs are nothing but your test signals. We call it as test signals are the signals which are used as inputs to systems, which are used to determine the system behavior. So we have main four, actually three, but in university's point of view we call them it as four. So those are, first one, that is impulse signal, which we usually denoted by del of t, and the second one is step signal. I will discuss in detail about these signals also. So the third one we have is the ramp signal. Ramp signal is a very special kind of a signal which we denoted by small r of t, and the fourth one is the parabolic signal. In some of the textbooks you might be able to see only the first three signals, and parabolic signal won't have any standard denotion. We will generally represent with y of t or x of t by equating it to some standard values according to the parabolic signal. So majorly impulse signal, step signal and ramp signal are the primary test signals that are available to test any particular system and then to analyze its time response. So coming into the first one, that is impulse response, we denote it by del of t, and this del of t will be equals to 1 at t is equals to 0, and it will be equal to 0 when t is not equal to 0. For suppose if I have to represent this particular mathematical equation in terms of a graphical representation, then for suppose this is my time axis and this is the signal x of t, and here x of t is equals to del of t, because I am trying to represent the impulse signal. So this particular thing, impulse signal, will exist. If you see this its mathematical definition, you can see that del of t is equals to 1 at t is equals to 0. We know that t is equals to 0 at this particular point. So here only the impulse signal will be present, and remaining at all other places, where t is not equal to 0, the value of the signal will remains to be 0. Where t is equals to 0, there only it will appear as 1. So this is the graphical representation of impulse signal. I hope you have some knowledge about the Laplace transform. So Laplace transform is actually nothing but the property which is used to shift the signal from the time domain to S domain. For suppose the Laplace transform of this particular signal del of t will be equals to 1. So this is the thing you have to remember. What you have to remember in this particular test signal is its mathematical condition and its graphical representation and its Laplace transform. So these are the things you need to remember when we talk about an impulse test signal which is represented by del t or del of t. So coming into the next type of signal, that is very famous signal, that is step signal. This is very famous. Famous because it can be seen in many types of questions. So coming into the test signal. So this will also have mathematical form. So mathematical form, its representation is given as u of t is equals to 1 when t is greater than or equals to 0, and it will be equal to 0 when t is less than 0. So now we will graphically try to represent this. This is the time axis and this is the signal x of t, where x of t is equals to, now we are drawing for u of t. So this particular representation will be for u of t, that is it will be equals to 1. Its value will be equals to 1 when t is equal to or greater than 0. Greater than 0 represents all these values, I mean after the 0, and when it is less than 0, its value tends to be 0. This is the graphical representation, and coming into its Laplace transform of u of t, we will give it as 1 upon s. So these are the things we need to remember. So the other important signal we have is the ramp signal. That is small r of t. Here one more thing we have to remember is, I'll explain this after all these signals. So ramp signal r of t is given as mathematical form. It will be equal to t when t is less than or equals to 0, and it will be equals to 0 when t is less than 0. Coming into its graphical representation, again this is equals to x of t, which is equals to r of t, as we are drawing for ramp signal. So ramp signal representation will be something like this, and slope of this line is equals to 1. And coming into the Laplace transform of small r of t, that is ramp signal, is equals to 1 upon s square. Here you can see that the value of ramp signal is equals to t when t is less than or equal to 0. So here we can, if you try to plot the values, I mean substitute the values of t, and if you try to plot it, you will get this particular graph. So the next, that another signal we have is a parabolic signal. We won't use much this particular signal in testing a system, because the system response will be gets complicated if you use this particular signal. So it will be denoted by, actually it won't be any particular denotation for this. So let us take it as x of t for time being, which will be equal to t square upon 2 for t less than or equal to 0, and it will be equals to 0 for t less than or less than 0. And its representation can be given like, most of the intermediate students will know the parabolic signal representation, that will be something like this. And the slope of this particular line will be, I mean not slope, the equation would be like this. So if you keep on putting t values from starting, for suppose at t is equals to 0, what would be my x of t? X of t would be equals to 0 square upon 2, which is equals to 0. At t is equals to 1 unit, x of t, that is parabolic signal, will be 1 square upon 2, that is equals to 0.5. I mean x-axis is 1 and y-axis is 0.5. So x-axis 1 ikkada, I mean at this point, and y-axis would something here, so this will be that particular point. So if you keep on increasing this particular t values and try to plot this, you will get something like this. This is the x of t parabolic signal representation. And Laplace transform of this parabolic function, which has coefficient of 1, that is t square upon 2, can be given like 1 upon s cube. And here you can replace this particular r of t in ramp case by 1 upon or t square by 2, not t square by 2, just it is a t, so that will be given as s square. So what I was about to say is, coming into the first signal, that is Laplace, impulse. Here whatever the coefficient will be there, it will indicate the magnitude. Here if only del of t is nothing but del of t means it has a magnitude of 1. For suppose there is something like 4 del of t, then it indicates the graphical representation would be something like this. Here the 4 amplitude will be there, and this is the x of t signal, which is equals to 4 del of t, and of course this will be time always. And ut coefficient also indicates the magnitude value. That is, if I have 4 ut, then the representation would be something like this. This is t, and this will be, and this particular u of t will always be the causal signal. That is, it will always be available after t is equals to 0. So the magnitude will be 4 here. This will represent 4 u of t signal. But coming to the case of ramp signal, so the coefficient of the ramp signal will indicate the slope of the straight line that you draw. This is very important. So in case of ramp, the coefficient will indicate the slope, whereas coming to all other cases, of course for parabolic also the slope will be indicating. So whereas for standard signals, impulse and step signal, the coefficient will indicate the magnitude. For ramp signal, it will indicate the slope. This you need to remember. And one more basic important thing we have to remember here is, if you integrate a impulse signal, then we will get a step signal. Now again, if you integrate this particular step signal, then you will get ramp signal. If you integrate the ramp signal, then we will get x of t, which is nothing but a parabolic signal. If you remember this particular configuration, it's fine. Or else you can remember like this also. If you differentiate a parabolic signal x of t with respect to time, then we will get ramp signal. And if you differentiate ramp signal, you will get a step signal. If you further differentiate this step signal, we will get impulse signal. So these are any one of the three formats you can remember. How I will remember is, like, I will make a shape like this particular shape I will remember, and this will indicate with a integration symbol. So impulse will be like this. So if I integrate this particular thing, I will get this line. This line will represent the u of t, because it is a step signal. So if I further integrate this, then I will get like this cross line. Cross line is nothing but ramp signal. So how I will remember is, I will remember this shape, and this shape is valid for uh, integration, and I will start from top position, and I will end at bottom position. So this is my mnemonic for this particular understanding.